any other fundamental issues like lanes and just miscommunication and everything else that went down on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the big thing is just everybody doing their job. Players, coaches, we all got to be better together. That was the message to everybody after the game. We're not going to point fingers and say it was this person, this person. Collectively, we got to be better as a whole group, whole unit, offense, defense, special teams, tackling. We got to be better. We got to be fundamentally better. We got to be better getting off blocks and just doing the little things and straining because the guys played hard, but you got to play with detail when you play teams like that.
How much was it preparation compared to what Texas was doing offensively?
Yeah, it was nothing that we weren't prepared for. They just executed at a high level, and we've got to do a better job.
On the left, Ryan.
How would you evaluate the play calling through two games on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think guys are getting a rhythm offensively. I thought, the thing that we talked about on offense, we got to run the ball more. We got to run the ball more efficiently and do things to help us and move the change and get the ball in the end zone, which we're not doing enough. So we'll continue to fix that. And defensively, guys just got to tackle. Guys got to make plays, and guys are in position or not communicating. So there's too many wide open things happening. That's the big piece for us. We got to get fixed.
Standing on the left, Isaiah.
After a loss like this, how much do you either look at it and say, all right, we just need to stay the course, do the same thing we're doing, just fix mistakes, or how much do you say maybe we need to look at some different options and try to course correct in a different way?
Yeah, I think the big thing I talked about with the team is it's urgency, it's not panic. It's the first time we've lost a game here since 2020, and the first time we've lost an in-season game since 21. So it stings. It should sting. It stings everybody. And a lot of guys haven't lost a game here at our home stadium, and nobody likes that feeling. Coaches, players, the players take it the worst. People talk about, the coaches and everybody else, but it's really the players that are in the games that take it the worst. So for us, it's consoling them, helping them get over it because they're still feeling it today. We always talk about the 24-hour rule, win or loss. And for us, it's what can we do to get better today? So we're looking at it as a 1-0. We're just trying to go 1-0 this week. Worry about this week, and what can we do to get better?
Come on the right here, Dennis.
Sherrone, what do you want the offense's ID to be, identity?
Yeah, I want us to be a physical offense that's detailed, and we can score points. And for us to do that, we've got to be better running the football. We got to be more consistent running the football. And when you get in games like that versus really good teams, if you get behind and it becomes a throw game, that doesn't put you in the best position to win. Never been a formula for us for that to be successful. So we got to do a better job establishing that and play action and run action and stuff off of it, which we will. And just ready for us to get to work today.
After you watched the film, did you find some things to build on out of that game?
Yeah, for sure. There were some efficient runs, and we got to be consistent when we do it. Protection early was good. The big thing when you get in passing situations and the guys are just revving off the ball, it's hard to protect at any level. So for us, it's getting behind those sticks, and I thought the defense finished really well in the second half. Gave up 7 points, but in the second half, there's a lot of 3-and-out and punts. So for us defensively, there's a lot to build on there, and we'll continue to build on as a whole team.
Charles?
Obviously, the turnovers were a big factor in the loss. How can you clean those up?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing. It's just detail. The first pick was a tip ball that was in somebody's hands, and the second one was a wrong route. So everybody looks at the quarterback and said he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Well, we've got to be route detailed up as a whole unit to make sure it's efficient. And the fumble, it's something that Colson's never done. And he was in here watching it, beating himself up. But he's a really good player. He'll fix that mistake, and I think it's a great learning experience for everybody. But you can't have 3 turnovers against a really good team.
On the right, Tony.
Yeah, Sherrone, a couple times you mentioned just the importance of getting that run game going. I guess what is it that you see is going differently this year than sort of in years past? Is it establishing, is it hitting holes? Is it blocks, like getting to the second level? Where do you see?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. The biggest thing, guys, just got to get a rhythm because there's enough good ones in there that you see that it can be done. It's just sustaining those all the time. And if we do that, we'll be in a much better position.
Does that maybe mean more dominant, more Kalel?
No, I think just as a whole, we just got to be better as a whole group, whether it's running back, O-line, receiver, tight end. The whole offense has to be better to make sure it's established the right way.
Angelique?
Sherrone, I was going that direction too. I mean, how much of being more physical is up front, the offensive line? And is there any tweaking you can do? Any guys' personnel changes?
No, I mean, we're always going to challenge the guys and make sure that nobody's comfortable in their position. So we're always, that's always been the standard here. There's competition every week, so we're going to continue to do that and have that throughout the week and see who practices the best, and the best players will play. And then for us, it'll just be who's going to strain, strain in every phase. That'll determine who will end up playing.
And you mentioned maybe some communication issues on defense. What do you owe that to?
Yeah, I mean, just we've got to do a better job, just as a whole group, communicating and talking, and getting aligned, getting set, and making sure that we do that so that we can, not have these guys, running back lanes wide open and certain missed assignments. And if we do that, it'll put us in a much better position.
On the right, Reiner.
Yeah, in retrospect, do you feel like you guys were a little overconfident in your assessment of the talent on the roster, especially on offense? I mean, Kirk mentioned after the spring that he felt that there were more explosive players on this team than even last year.
Yeah, no, I don't think we felt overconfident. We just got to execute, especially when you play a good team. If you have 3 turnovers in any game and you don't convert on third downs like we did, you're not going to win. You're not going to beat a team like Texas. So for us, it's about those little things and fixing those little details.
But there hasn't seemed to be that explosive element in the offense. I mean, can you explain why that might be?
When you go 3 for 12 on third down, you're not going to have a lot of explosive plays. So we got to do better on third downs. We got to not turn the ball over, and that'll create explosive plays.
On the right, Austin.
Sherrone, in this day and age, when you lose a quarterback like JJ, sometimes the assumption is you just go to the portal and get another one. Obviously, it's not that simple, but can you just speak to the decision-making process in December and April and how you guys looked at that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of change, a lot of things happened. So for us, it was, the quarterbacks that we had here, we felt pretty comfortable with, and those guys performed well in the spring and did a good job. And then things happened in the portal where guys go different places and all that. So we had a good beat on who we wanted to get and what we wanted to do. And for us, it was, for us to be successful and keep our culture and keep our team the right way. We have the quarterbacks we have here, and still feel like we can win with our quarterbacks, have confidence in our quarterbacks. And for us to be successful, it's not just the quarterback. Everybody around them have to perform at a good level and perform with detail and not turn the ball over and do things to make us successful. So people point towards the quarterback. It was the same thing last year. JJ threw 3 picks in the game, and people were talking about JJ. So it's we feel confident in our quarterback, and everybody around them have to execute their jobs at a high level as well.
On the right, Aaron.
How would you assess the routes your receivers are running?
Yeah, we've got to do a better job of just creating separation. There are some times where there's separation, and the route spacing is good, but not detailed and not good enough all the time. And for us, it's just going to be going back to the basics. Simple is good. Letting our guys play fast, not making it too complicated for them. And if we do that, we'll be in a good place.
On the left, John.
Can you talk a little bit about TJ Guy's journey and putting himself in a position now to be able to help you?
Yeah, I mean, he's been there since. I mean, I remember him when Aiden was here and he was on scout team causing havoc. So he's been one of those guys that have followed the Aidens, the Jabos, the Mike Moes, the Jalen Harrells, the Braden McGregors, and kind of been behind in the shadows and really just worked and saw how those guys worked to put himself in a position to where he is now. And really proud of TJ and how he's carried himself, how he's matured, what he's done, and he keeps impacting the game, and I think he'll just get better and better.
Stand on the left, Clayton.
I know not all of them were designed, but Davis made some plays outside of the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you could do more? And then Jack was questionable for the last game. Is he kind of nearing, getting back healthy?
Yeah, I thought Davis did a good job, especially at the end. And to that, just the fight that they all had. It's easy in a game like that for guys to just stop playing or not want to fight, not want to. Those guys fought down. They kept playing, and went down and scored. Davis escaped out the pocket, did some good things, made some throws on the run. So, yeah, definitely something we can build on for him. And, Jack's throwing more this week and looks like he'll be ready to go.
On the left, Ryan.
I know it's just a few plays, but how much of a sense are you getting that teams are keying in on the run when Alex Orji comes into the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's done in the past, so that's the assumption that he's going to do, but we'll have packages for him to throw. So, for us, it'll just be managing that and getting him in a rhythm and getting the team in a rhythm.
the front, Dana.
It's a little bit off topic. Some head coaches are looking to see if the targeting rule should be adjusted some because of the automatic ejections. I'm just wondering what you feel about the targeting rules as they currently stand, or whether they should be adjusted so the officials have a little bit more leeway not to throw somebody out every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all an intent. You know, there's some blatant ones where guys are launching themselves and putting their crown right in the head and head down. It's not only to help the player that they're hitting, but to help themselves. So for us, for them and for us, it's a big thing. It's more of a safety deal. So for me, it's just really about intent and what they're, because there's football plays, right? There's plays where the guy can't stop. He's got his head up, and all of a sudden he hits the guy in the chin, but then he's hit him the crown of his head. It happened in our game, and they overturned it, and which we thought was the right call. So I don't feel strongly about either way. I want the guys to play football and be safe.
Got time for about 3 or 4 more. We'll start with Angelique.
Sherrone, of course, you're right that it's not all on the quarterback, so this is not a knock on Davis, but is there any thought to getting Alex more involved, give him a series versus, a play or 2 here?
Yeah, I think it's all going to be how we practice this. For us, it's always been that way. How do you practice? Who practices best? Who plays the best? So, we'll make those evaluations as a staff as we go.
And when you look at the film on the Colston plays, was that more of him trying to do too much in those situations?
Yeah, just a fundamental mistake by him, which he'll tell you. Just seeing the ball all the way tucked, all the way into your tuck, and when you try to make a play before the ball is all the way in your tuck, that's what happens. So, happens on the NFL stage or happen in college stage. So we just got to make sure we clean that up, which we will.
Reiner?
Yeah, obviously the result was the result, but after watching the film, how far do you see this program being away from a team like Texas?
Not far. I think for us, they executed very cleanly. All the credit to them, what they did and how they played. So not going to take anything away from them. But for us, we know that there's the turnovers, the third down margin. You take those 2 things, and it gives us a much better chance to be successful. So we know where we're at. We know what we got to do, and it was a good lesson for us to learn.
On the right, Aaron?
The desire to run the ball more, why do you feel like that's the right answer at this point with the offense goes?
Yeah, I think just for us, from a rhythm standpoint and who we are and what we've done and how we're built, I think, we've got some really good running backs. So you got to use those guys, and it'll help us. It'll help the play action. It'll help the run action. It'll help set everything up. So for us, that'll be an emphasis, as it always is. Obviously not trying to run the ball 32 times in a row, but if it comes to that, it comes to that. So, but for us, really, it's just to keep us balanced, to make sure that we can, open up the lanes for the passing game.
Last question, Tony.
Does it feel? I mean, as you said, to begin, it's been a while since this has happened to this team, this program. Does it feel different inside? I guess just sort of what's the air like in here, and what's your confidence level that this can be a blip and not sort of a trend?
Yeah, I think it can be just a blip, and guys are hurt, guys are stung, guys don't feel happy, guys aren't smiling and laughing. But now it's our job to uplift them and bring them back to the light of, hey, this happened. Now we got to see the mistakes, we got to fix the mistakes, we got to attack the mistakes, and we got to get better from it. We can't let this game beat us again.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. A lot of players in here.
Appreciate it.